Although last night was fun. If you got tired like I did and decided to maybe just go on to bed, you probably chose well because that way you went to bed with visions of victory in your head. The Spurs fought back after a second quarter kind of drought, have a valiant third quarter and a heck of a fourth quarter, and fight to the bitter end. Then Sohan, I believe, gave up the ball. It'll turnover underneath the rim. Wemby had the ball on the block to maybe get a shot off to take a lead. It's kind of a fadeaway three from behind a fadeaway jumper from the corner about the side of the backboard. Didn't get a foul call. 8 straight points later. Final score 127-122 Sacramento. The takeaway, any at all, other than, oh no, we suck again?
Well, I don't think that would be accurate because the "oh no, we suck again" implies that there was a moment in time that you thought you didn't suck. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a regression to this. This isn't a sine cosine curve. You know what I mean? Where we're up and down. Like we're just down.
But how about valiant and effort?
No, I'm
Okay.
so sick of that, dude. I'm so sick of looking for moral victories against the Kings. You know what I mean? Like this is. Do you know the last time the Spurs held a positive win probability? I know you know I love this game.
Uh, a positive win probability.
Yeah.
When
No, in the game.
oh
It's
well, we had a lead there with about a minute and a half.
it's pretty good for you, off the top of head. So the coffee's worked this morning.
Thank you.
It was at a minute 37
Yeah.
left in the game. Spurs up by 2. They held a 60.1% win probability. That dropped in over the ensuing 16 seconds, significantly. And then Sacramento just kind of, put things in cruise control from that point on. And that's like I'm I don't think I'm ridiculous, and people who feel the same are ridiculous for wanting more, for wanting
Yeah.
what is the game? And I don't mean to make this about Wemby, but at this point, it's okay to criticize him. What is the game that Wemby has taken over and shut down?
Okay, you're valid, and I think that this is where we kind of need to land as Spurs fans because Pop has done everything he can to make sure that this is a warm, welcoming, and growing environment for his young player. Nothing negative will linger. No sadness shall enter. We will fight until we are good without any hesitance toward the good, not the bad. And I get it, but at some point, dude, the numbers are great. In fact, Edwin, will you find it was Pop pregame talking about what he got in Wemby? The surprise, he expected a lot, but wow, he didn't expect this. I believe it's the leading the league in block shots because you get the sense that he's starting to get a little mad at it.
It's more than I expected as far as the stats are concerned. I didn't know he was going to lead the league in shot blocking.
He's getting more than he expected, yet the return is not there. And he goes on in pregame, and it's not harsh, but he said more than once, the turnovers. The turnovers. Well, we got to talk about the turnovers, dude. The most valuable thing you have is one, your exclusive rights and services deal with Louis Vuitton. That's pretty damn cool. That's pretty valuable. The second most valuable thing you have is the basketball, because that basketball allows you to get that really cool, valuable thing, the LV thing. Protect the damn ball. It ain't that hard. They're coming for it, and they're coming in ways you don't expect. Expect the unexpected. I know that's weird. It's starting to drive me crazy, man. For every 3 steps you take forward, you're taking 1 back. Now, I like those other 2, leading the leading blocks and filling every box and being available for a lot of stuff, but and it's not the late turnovers. I know there's a light on you. You are the magnet, and the shot you took, thank God you took the shot. Thank God you were given the opportunity to take the shot. I'm not mad at you for the shot. It was not the best shot, but it was a shot. It's the turnover in the middle of the third where you don't look back, you don't look at your toes. You don't see where guys are coming. It's the bad bounce pass. It's the you're trying to be too much of a giver turnover. That it's got to stop. It's as bad as Zach Collins' defense in the post.
So while I share in the mindset that it's fair to criticize Wemby, we don't have to act like Wemby's perfect, Wemby's infallible. You know, like this topic is one of those like, things where people offer the most obvious disclaimer. You know what I mean? I love women. Look, none of us have to admit this. Like
Yeah, it's
nobody.
very endemic.
Yeah, nobody wants to move on. Like we're all grateful. We don't have to say this a million different times. So that being said, while I am definitely of the mindset that it's okay to take the kid gloves off and treat him a little harshly when merited and when earned, I also think if anyone has built up sort of pre-stock benefit of the doubt, it's him. Especially when like the blocks are a significant thing. So he is leading the NBA. He has 161 blocks. Do you know who's second in the NBA?
I would guess Gobert, but
It's Chet.
really,
Gobert is sixth. And
wow.
and to that point, Wemby has 161 blocks. Gobert was the first name that came to your mind. Gobert has 111.
Which would have led the league, I think, most years.
Think about that. Wemby has 50 more blocks than him. And even then, Chet is second at 146. He has 15 more blocks. He has more than 10% more of Chet's blocks in terms of the gap. He is averaging 3.2 blocks per game. Second, tied for second, I should say, is a value. Chet is there. Brook Lopez is there. 2.7. He is good for a half block a game more than anybody else. So because of that greatness, hell yeah, I'm willing to overlook a turnover. If you're gonna be, of the mindset like, oh well, Wemby has these turnovers, we got, whatever. Then what, dude? I want to see you cuss these other guys out too. Then, like, if you're gonna do this with him, you know what I mean? Like, maybe be harsher on the talent that you're not developing around him, because that's the problem in the ecosystem.
Oh, no doubt. I'm just last night. It felt like for about 5 minutes there, late in the fourth, it was execution at work, but it was more about hustle, and I felt like they wanted it more. And then one bad thing happens, and the whole team, you could just see their shoulders slump. And granted, the Kings were on fire. Step back threes hit like that to close a game down.
Dude,
I mean, sometimes God is ordained. But you got to be playing defense, and that's my next step here. So first of all, if you're the leader, take control of the game defensively and do that when it matters. And you were as good as you could have been, considering they did what I thought they were going to do to him. They ran him around. He was tired by the end of the game. But own the end of the game in ways that maybe not are affected by your scoring. And 8 straight points, 2 really open threes. It was while the offense was bad, the defense was what lost the game there at the end. 65 points given up in the first half, that 8 straight point run in the second half. At some point, do you think if Pop wants to win that you just go get your guy and defend him? At what point are we going to go, these defensive lapses are because the scheme is evidently above them? I guess we still are worried more about improvement than wins. Because you see, I felt like, you know what, if you'd have just called timeout in that last minute and a half and just say, play defense, you got him, don't let him get to the rim, don't let him shoot, deny the ball. And we did that with 5 guys instead of this help side defense that we continue to get confused by. The dunk late when Zach Collins just rolled backwards on that high pick and roll. Play some defense, man.
They don't have an interest
in
that.
Don't be a poster.
That's not, that's not part of the MO right now.
And that's, I think, what is so aggravating. And it has to hurt everybody involved, because you've got to learn to play NBA level defense to win games consistently. But to get there, you have to suffer over and over to the point where you go, I'd rather just play old school one-on-one ball defense for 48 minutes and maybe give myself a chance, knowing at least I'll know where the problems are, instead of I can't have this guy play with this guy because he doesn't help in time because this guy can't defend left. And you're like, man, the puzzle that Pop has to solve here seems almost insurmountable.
But the puzzle is designed by them. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So why not at some point go, you know what? We're just going to go 5-on-5. Let's line up in the last 3 minutes. You go over the top of picks. You never go under and defend.
Because that would require the main and primary objective to be winning games. And they're cool going through the motions right now, man. I mean,
oh man,
they've punted on this season a long time ago.
They look good. I'm not going to go there today. Because I was impressed up until the very end. It was, and I'm not going to let that little bit of the youngest team in basketball ruin what I thought was a heck of an outing.
Okay, so you know what this is a matter of? Two things. You remember how over the last few weeks I have kind of called out Cowboys fans and said, how are you guys excited about this Mike Zimmer thing? We were all ready to, light this place on fire. And now, I've lost 70% of you in my fight. I'm here standing by myself like John Travolta, right? And yesterday I called out EA, right? Like we're supposed to be impressed that you're making a college football video game and it has all of the college football
every last one of them
in it. Like this is, you want credit for putting your pants on. But so I tweeted about the college football thing, obviously, after we discussed it in our grievances, and somebody responded to me and said, hype is fun. And that's the phenomenon you're experiencing today with the Spurs. You know the truth. All right. And I understand you're saying I'm not willing to go there today because today you just want to feel good.
I do.
That's all you want. You just want to feel good about the Spurs. And I don't blame you for that. Like this emotion is a sine or cosine curve. There are days where, you know what, man, I just want to pretend life is good. Wemby, it's awesome. It's fun, whatever, blah, blah. Trey Young, everything is possible for us. And then there's other days where it's like, this team sucks. Like this team's terrible. I can't stand to watch them play basketball. And I can't believe I have to do it with them wearing these god awful uniforms. I mean, like everything about it is just attacking me visually. So maybe we're on different signs or different, or on different elements or different sides of the y-axis, x-axis. I think it's.
I was told there'd be no math.
It's the x-axis.
Okay.
So you're on the positive side. I'm on the negative side. But I just can't. I'm not going to allow myself to, to say, man, you know what? They really hung with the Kings, and I respect that.
They did, and again, I'm impressed. I like the Kings lineup. That's a fun team to watch. De'Aaron Fox is good. And as good and as bad as the defense was and wasn't last night, equal fast break points, 13 each. Points in the paint was pretty darn even, 72-70 for the Kings. They did the things that you're supposed to do to win. 8 turnovers. If we are talking, moral victories, there's a lot of it in there. There really was. It was just a young team plays like a young team at the worst possible time, and they did it last night. Bad shot, weird turnover, boom, 8 points, game over. Spurs head down south. And I will tell you this, I get the sense tonight the Spurs are going to be tuned. LeBron's going to come back. I think the Spurs are going to be tuned up. I think this will be as good a game as they're going to play on the rodeo road trip will be tonight. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I do think they're going to win.
What is the line? Because Vegas always knows.
I bet it's.
So, by the way, yesterday when we chatted, the line had moved down to 9. It got down to 7.
Well,
at one point.
I told you.
Well, they did cover, but they are 10-point dogs today. The Spurs.
I still like them. I'd take that in 10.
They are the 3rd biggest underdogs of the day. The only 2 teams who are up against bigger spreads are Washington against the Thunder. They're 15.5-point dogs. And the Hornets against the Warriors are 13-point dogs.
And you know what? I like the Hornets. I like that number, and I like the Spurs.
Oh my gosh!
Look at what the Hornets have done over the last 5 games. They're playing better.
I know what they did against the Spurs, but what about the Wizards? You're not going that far.
No, I wouldn't. But I do like those others. I'd pay real close attention. Jump on your prize picks over under. Check your guys. I like the Wemby matchup tonight. 1-1 this year. They've already split one. They know how they have the Lakers number.
Well, this is LeBron auditioning too. LeBron doesn't want to embarrass the Spurs too badly so that things aren't awkward.
I do think that we should know ahead of time what uni they're wearing. I think that matters.
What is the best Spurs-Lakers uniform matchup?
Spurs in black, Lakers in yellow.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah.
I mean an acceptable second answer would be Spurs in white, Lakers in yellow.
I do remember a lot of Sundays when we would be there for one of the 3:00 Sunday afternoon basketball game, and they'd be in their Sunday white, and David and Tim would roll out that silver and black.
But that's
good times, my friend. Good times.
Good answer. Spurs blacks against Lakers gold.